Welcome one, welcome all, welcome back to Vince Does Chess. This is a more than weekly show where I look at some chess stuff. This is just one of the games that I played today on June the 26th. We were using the Blitz 5-minute timing rules, and for any of you who don't know what that is, that just means you have 5 minutes. It's a 5-minute chess clock whenever it's your move. Each player has 5 minutes that only counts when it's their turn. But yeah, we'll get right into it. I was playing white this game and got a pawn promoted incredibly early. It was an odd game, and I just want, first, people who play on chess.com, which is where this game took place, I am above average. And it is the oddest game I have seen in a long time. So, we start out with the move King E4. We then, black countered with B or C5. No, B6. I put out my bishop to C4. Sorry about the cut. Just realized that seeing the black was a bit difficult from where you guys were at. Got some more light now. Hopefully it's better. If it's not, I'll try and fix it in the editing process. But black responds with bishop out to b7. Looks like at this point black is looking for a modern defense, while I'm going with a standards king opening. So I do d5. Oh no. Bishop c4 followed by d3. And they will respond with d5. This is the beginning of the weirdness. So I see that I can take this piece on the gambit. The bishop could come out and attack, however, I'm accepting that bishop exchange at this point. However, I'm kind of expecting that. Get the bishops off the board. They respond to EX d5 with E6 of all the possible moves. So I'm like, well, take that other pawn. I'm expecting pawn takes pawn. The F7 to take Fx E6. However, that's not what they do. And so they go bishop X G E2. And I pause for a minute and think, well, left myself unguarded to that. However, I then see 2 moves in advance here and go check, forking the knight and the king. The knight will come out and not surrender to there, and I get a second queen. We'll represent it by that pawn because it's not going to stay there too terribly long. Rook will take the queen. And now, well, I do queen check on g4, which responds by putting the king back where he found it. And maybe now I should have either taken the bishop or taking the knight. However, I go check. They go queen in front, and I will happily do the sacrifice. Did e7. They take with the bishop. Wait a minute. That makes... Yep, take with the bishop to get rid of the check. And now I will take the rook. They will take the rook. And now, this is still early in the game, mind you. However, look at the king side of the board. There is a bishop and a knight for both sides. I have not activated any of my minor pieces on the left side of the board. And I realize that at this point, and you will start to see that and notice that by my behavior. So, it's my move, bishop e3. e3, take the bishop out. They respond with bishop f6. Wait a minute. Bishop. That bishop. Knight c3. And now I have fully activated. They will follow with king f8. Don't really know what that's doing, but alright, I guess. Bishop d5 at this pawn had moved but forward. By that point, wait a minute. I don't know. Oh, now it moves forward, allowing me to take the bishop. I thought he had forgotten about it. I was right, because I forgot about it. Forgot about the bishop way back here. Not the first time that happened either, is the funny thing. That bishop will be forgotten about yet again, back in that back right corner. So, knight d7. Alright, he's activating his other minor piece, yet it's kind of over now. I'll castle queenside because kingside won't happen because I don't have that anymore. They choose to go rook c to the c file. Don't really know what that he's thinking at this point. I would have preferred to keep it there or move it out to the open, but alright, I guess. Knight e4. Again, get my knights connected. Bishop h4. Again, don't really know what he's doing at this point. Knight f3. Wait a minute, it must have been that. Challenge the bishop. Knight f. And so at this point, just a few more transactions. We get to an endgame that looks like this. Pretty well. So their king's coming over. I go. And their king is, at this point, just trying to... And I had a couple of pawns over here. This is not an exact recreation at this point. However, it doesn't really matter. Because they got to this point. And this was really checkmate at this point. What their smartest decision would have been here is to just try and get rid of the pawns. However, king boxing in the... or rook boxing in the king, pawns protecting the rook, I go ahead and promote. And by this point, he has resigned, but I decided to take it up against the computer. And I have an extra rook, I have an extra queen. That's game. If I wanted, I could push for a second queen. And by the point that I have an extra 2 queens, if he ever gets close enough that he can do something, like, even if he gets a bit clever and does that, well, I'm not going to take it. If he goes again, he's just locked that pawn out. I'm not going to take it. If he takes it, I'll fire back with that pawn. But he had no chance. But just an odd game. If you like seeing other games like this that I play, or if you like any chess tips at all, a like on the video would be appreciated, and if you enjoyed it, a subscription would be very much appreciated. It helps out the channel a lot. Thanks, and goodbye.